going. There's nobody online. It's 12:01. Let me pull up an agenda. Let's see. All right, so I guess so. The beach project, we get an invoice from Sean. So we get the invoice for $10,000 for the playground area. Because we already voted that, I just paid that.
Sure.
I told him to invoice us more frequently. I think he was feeling a little bit of a crunch last time. I feel bad for him, but this is $20,500. It is the concrete stairs and ramp, which is $15,000. The rock splitting, which was the kind of contingency, that's $2,500, and then the work related to the sump pump is $3,000.
Yep.
Let me just pull up the.
Make a motion to pay those bills.
I will. Second.
As mentioned.
Properties, beach. Just want to look at the budget real quick. We are definitely going to. Where? I don't understand. Budget. All right, so let me just document that. So beach bill. Dan. All right, so all in favor.
Aye.
And aye. We are definitely coming down to the wire a little bit on this. We don't have a lot of room left for anything.
Correct.
And I'm assuming, so I've been keeping track of like the total bid and subtracting out what he's invoiced us for. So, I mean, assuming there's no more overages.
As long as we have enough for the fence.
Yeah, I mean, the fence, they said the pricing stood.
Okay.
So that's what I put in here.
Yep.
Harshaw said his pricing was the same that he gave us. He was going to look at the catch basin. I didn't see Sean. Oh, he texted me this morning, but I guess maybe they left and came back. He was going to look at that catch basin area. I'm assuming it's trivial because his cost for the basketball repair was pretty trivial. But I figured he could talk to Sean.
Yeah, paving and fencing really are the two things that are left, right?
So, because
we save money on the trees, correct?
Yeah, we save money on the trees, so that's good. I'd like them to talk about that sidewalk and make sure we're not missing anything that structurally needs to be done. I mean, I budgeted $3,000 for the sidewalk and $1,000 for the catch basin based on the pricing we got. And then the basketball repair will pay out of revolving since that's a separate issue.
Yeah.
Let me just look at what's left. So there's potentially $60,000 left from Clifton. The fence was $25,600 for the front, $7,900 for the side. And then I had asked them about the other side just to give us a price. It's not part of this. I think that will have to be later, but that's probably, if you use the same number, that could be another $4,000 if they're willing to match it.
Yeah, well, that's later.
The playground is $20,000. We got that plugged in. And then I have some $5,000 for picnic tables, $2,000 for a bike rack, which is probably way more than it will be, and then $1,000 for signage. As this all is, we're in the red, $1,000, which is fine. I mean, the signage could come out of the revolving, but there's not a lot of room. And then, so I guess that brings us to the railing issue.
Which I want to tell me what you found. I've read your emails about it.
Well, so now that I saw my opinion change, initially I was do it because I figured somebody would come down that thing and beat up the fence.
Yeah.
But now he's saying it's what did he say, 3,400?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of money for just one piece of railing.
Yep.
And I hate to say it, I don't think we have it.
We don't. So here's my thought. What if the grade there needs to come up? If the grade comes up, we're fine.
Well, it's not required, to be clear. It's not at all.
Not.
Yeah.
But I feel but you also don't want to drop off. If the grade, Sean can make the grade go up.
Yeah.
So it has to go up anyway to meet the sidewalk.
There's no drop off because you're going to come down the ramp and be right into the fence. It's right there. The only purpose of the railing was to maybe back up the fence a little bit and make it look a little cleaner.
I wouldn't worry about it then.
It's not required. Worst case, the fence would stop you. You're not going off the cliff.
No, let's not do it.
So
I would attach something to the fence at that point. I think for that kind of money.
You know what? Maybe we can ask him to just do a middle rail on that one little piece of 4-foot or 8-foot fence, just to give it a little more structure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that's the design.
The budget's too tight.
And that would at least, because that was my concern.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I saw, and it's probably going to cost too much. When I went to the Department of Fishery Wildlife in Westboro there for a grant workshop. They had on their walkway, they had these little, like right along the ground. It was like railing, but it was so as to stop like a wheelchair from going off the edge.
Yeah, like a stop log or something.
Too expensive, but that would be a good thing there.
I mean, for now we could put a 4x4.
Yeah,
it's just something to.
No, I think that'll be fine.
Yep.
I think that's way too much money.
Yep. So we need to vote on that? No, because we're not spending any money, correct?
I mean, I think we just make the decision. I'm just, we miss anything.
Right. I do not.
Yeah.
I vote negatively or not in favor of adding that extra rail.
Yeah, I just put we basically agreed no.
We need to.
So that's that, and then there was something else with the beach. I have no idea what it was.
So there's some things on Facebook about why we put the trees so close to the wall.
Well, I didn't even see that.
Why did we put it so close to the wall?
I don't know. That's where the plans showed it, but I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's right. The plans kind of.
I don't know. I'm done posting pictures. Every one of them. I'm like, it's not done yet.
Right.
Did you see the one? My favorite comment was the guy. I posted the early pictures of that footing, and somebody commented like, "Oh, it's not very straight." I'm like, it's a ramp. Like it's supposed to be crooked.
Yeah, no, I don't post any of that stuff.
Oh god.
People can come see it if they're that interested.
Yeah, there was some good stories. The last one I saw, that's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Is the people telling the stories about back in the day.
Yes.
And that one lady, she better show up. I better see her this summer. It's been very active on Facebook. I don't know if I've actually ever met her in person.
No, the people were concerned that those trees are going to ruin the walls because it's so close to it. But it's too late now; they're already in. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sean. I mean, Sean knows what he's doing, so Sean would have said, "Hey, this isn't right." You know, I think part of the problem was they were. I mean, they were right on top of the walls. These are back at least a couple feet.
Probably 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, there were trees that were like on,
Yep.
on the wall. All right, so that's that. Let me just see if there's other quick stuff.
And I verbally gave Sean the okay to extend that ramp.
Oh, that's the thing we had talked about. I talked to him too.
Eliminates the rail, right?
I think maybe the engineer was thinking with the basketball court, but if you look at it, I mean, it's not like a court. It's just a recreational area, so it's not the end of the world,
right.
And it totally solves the other railing problem.
Yep.
I think it looks good. Yeah.
Made perfect sense to me to do it that way.
No, that's way better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Why does this say discuss trees? Was there something else we had to discuss about trees, or was that from last? Maybe I didn't take it off from last time. I don't know.
Are they getting watered regularly?
He was gonna put. I think he is. He was gonna put those bags.
Who's he?
Sean.
Okay.
At least that's what he said to me. I'll ask him. I'm a little nervous. I would like to see that area hydro-seeded.
Yeah.
Because the more it can grow, the better.
Right. But we also need to set up water available, right?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Yeah, we need to set up some sprinklers.
And then we can, just leave the sprinklers out on a timer.
Mm-hmm. Especially this side, the playground side. The other side still needs a little work.
Yeah.
Plus the fence guys are going to probably ruin it.
I got tons of. Thanks to the camp, we got tons of sprinklers and splitters and whatnot.
Yeah, I'd say this side over here, get it all seeded and in.
That would be nice, yeah. So I'll have to ask him what's going on because I think that would be good.
Or is he waiting for the playground equipment? Or maybe he's,
No, I think I'll follow up if he has any more news for us. I don't think the playground equipment is going to be coming until the end of June.
Okay.
Based on what was last discussed, I'll see if he knows better now. So that's going to be long done. but they didn't seem concerned about that. I think they'll just carry it right in and set it up. It's not huge stuff. It's all like beams and things that they just
Right.
bolt together.
Yep.
Let's see. So Grover's, I just jumping out of order. Grover's pretty much all set. The last time I was over there, the power wasn't hooked up yet. And when I asked Joe, it sounds like it's grid. So I will reach out to the town has like an account manager and see if she knows what's going on.
Okay.
Because they were bugging him they wanted to show up and do it. And so now I don't know, but it's not hurting anything.
Well, they can't run their sprinklers.
Right. Well, I'm not putting the irrigation system back. I asked soccer if they could help me move the tanks back, and we were waiting on scheduling. Otherwise, once the kids start, I'll get with them and bring them back.
I mean,
over.
I'm after this month.
It's just labor.
My schedule opens up dramatically.
Okay.
So I can help you if you want to move tanks back or any of that stuff. I'd be happy to help. Just right
Yeah.
now till the end of this month, it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy for me.
I
In
just
fact, I'm squeaking in an hour and 15 today just to meet with you.
Yeah,
on
right.
Schedule. Because we're going away for Thursday for Europe, so.
Oh, geez. We're in Europe.
Going to Ireland.
Oh, cool. My mother and grandmother just got back from Italy
Oh, really?
again.
Cool. Are you
Yes,
Italian?
My mother's side.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather actually. I don't know. My mother did. My grandfather got his citizenship. It's like if you're some percentage, you
Yeah.
can trace it back. But so they were going a whole bunch, and so
Okay.
now my mother has started going with my grandmother.
Cool.
I think my father went when they went last year, but no, Ireland is cool.
Hmm.
We were gonna go with that the Sam that used to work for us because he's from Ireland, and then it would end up being way too expensive. But anyway, all
Yeah,
right.
taking the whole family.
Oh, cool. Yeah. All right, so that's done. Oh, sorry.
Anything else at the soccer field?
No, soccer's all set. So I gotta actually. So we had talked about the scholarship program, as somebody reached out with the. I can't think of the name of her program here. Riverside Mobile Crisis Intervention in Milford.
Yep.
So she reached out because they had somebody in Mendon. They were looking for opportunities. So I said, well, we have financial assistance, and I said, we had this opportunity come through. If they're interested, I think we can get additional funds. And then I had said to her, listen, if you know of other people in need in Mendon, send them our way, because I think the brothers are looking to help people separate from parks.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard back, but I guess I'll mention it to the brothers if they're still willing to. I think if they're willing to donate $1,000, and I think I had said so our discounts 40%. No, hang on. Our financial assistance, I think, is 20%, and then if we did it, we could do an additional like 40 to 50% off using the money from the brothers.
Yep.
I think that would be a good way to spread it around. So I'll see if she gets back to me with an actual registration.
Okay. One other thing we could do too is if brothers want to help with this, as a way to get more people here for, say, free admission till July 15th or something.
Oh, yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah, it's free sponsored by the brothers.
Right. Or just take one day of the week and say,
that's an interesting idea.
Wacky Wednesdays,
Yeah.
or something like that. Or get more people here, just get them down here.
I wonder what that would
no
cost. Because we're not, we're making $10,000 in admissions.
But I think you'd make it back because you're going to get more people here.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
Say every Thursday admission is free or something like that.
Huh. That's something to think about.
And drives up your sales for your.
If you did it
and then more people would come back other days and start considering a season pass, and so just something.
Yeah.
Now that we have a beach that we're proud of, right?
That's a good idea. Or specific for men in residence. It's free for men in residence on whatever day.
Right.
Courtesy of the brothers. And that would get their name out there. It probably wouldn't cost a fortune.
No.
We're only taking in maybe $100 a day at most in admissions, give or take.
Correct.
Huh, that's a good idea. We should ask them about that. I bet they'd go for it.
Yeah. But even if they don't, we're gonna make money in the long run. You know what I mean? Like if we have one day a week, let's just say for the month of July.
Oh, we could think of on our own.
So even if they don't sponsor it, but if we could figure out how much we make on an average Wednesday,
Yeah.
talk to the brothers about it.
I mean, I think,
just for Mendon residents.
I think this will end up being somewhat of a soft opening initially.
Yeah.
Things are not going to be finished and perfect and all that. And then at some point we should think about doing like a ceremony or something in mid-July.
Yeah,
AJ
absolutely.
mentioned like a sign.
Sure.
I know those plaques are way expensive, but might be worth exploring.
Mm-hmm.
Hire a band or something.
Usually they put out like a bronze plaque up with the names of the people involved.
That was like $2,000.
Yeah.
That was what I took when I first took over for Jen. That was like the last project. She had just like submitted the order. I had to pay the bill.
I could have something laser engraved pretty cheaply.
Yeah, they do some cool stuff now.
Yeah.
That's true. And down there it'd probably be a little safer because it would be.
But you would just attach it to one of the buildings. Beach renovation, 2023.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that. All right. So in terms of summer and staffing, so in terms of the summer program, we've had a couple counselors back out, which is not unexpected. We did get a late application from somebody that used to attend our program that was interested in. She put counselor, but I think she's only 15. Should be a junior counselor. So I'm wondering if I talked with Alan. We'd like to interview her, but if you're okay, if pending a positive interview, we hire her.
No problem.
So I will make a motion to hire. I just won't post this till after we interview her. Ava Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be a junior counselor as JC at $13 an hour, pending interview. And then the other thing that came out of it, so her and somebody else are turning 16, like in mid-July. So I don't know, should we be thinking about making them full counselors at that point, or is that?
It's up to
I don't
you
know.
guys.
Something we should bring back to the board.
Dan. I mean, not Dan.
Alan.
Yeah. I think we can afford it.
I mean, well, $2 an hour is.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe that's something we'll bring back to the board and see how people do. And then maintenance.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, yeah.
As long as they're worth it, and the people that you want to bring up through the ranks that are going to provide leadership, and I'm all for it.
I mean, that was the thought, especially like this. She was here before, is trying to, these people that hopefully will be around for a while, and that we kind of know them, so we know that they're good people.
Correct.
So, and then the maintenance, we did get I spoke with that gentleman. He ended up getting a job. We got another application from somebody who's like 19.
Yeah.
We could open it up to 15 years old. The law is kind of vague, but I don't think they really should operate like a ride-on mower at all.
No.
But they certainly could. I mean, I guess they can run a trimmer or a push mower.
Yes.
Just because we would get a 15-year-old.
Even 16, anyone under 18 actually. Technically, you're not supposed to be. I don't have that piece of paper.
I can look it up. It doesn't like specify.
I have it at my house. I give them out. I give them out all the time.
Well, if you're under 16, you can't.
Look under 18, child labor law.
Yeah, no, I'm looking it up. You can't drive. We knew that. Drive a vehicle, forklift, or work assist vehicle except golf carts.
Is a mower a work assist vehicle?
I don't know. There's nothing specific to mowers, but they pretty much are prohibited from operating like power equipment in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't specify like they can't operate like a string trimmer or something.
That would be fine as a hand tool.
Or a push mower. Under 16 says they can't work in garages except dispensing gas or oil.
Yeah, push mower would be fine. I think,
ladders.
Because there's so many safeties built into those now.
Right.
It's almost impossible to hurt yourself.
I know that old ride-on mower. Everything has been disabled. You get off the thing, the blades are running and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
But so I mean, just in terms of staffing, I mean, we've got the 3, but they would be 16 next year, so you'd be still training somebody to carry forward,
Mhm.
and they might be okay with just working
I wouldn't.
2-3 days a week.
So find out about this 19-year-old, see if they're willing to do it.
I'll ask him. I can almost imagine
we
he doesn't
can
want to work
certainly-
2 days a week, though.
Right. But the offer could be out there, though. Just say,
Yeah.
want to do this a couple days a week, and we can consider you for more for the future. We're going to need a foreman at some point. Brian St. John, this might be his last year.
Well, I think it's Brian's last year, and I ran into Aiden on Talbot Farm reading the meters. He was mowing. I guess he started up his company, and he's going to look to do stuff on the side. And he said he's also considering becoming a call fireman now. And I think if a position opens up at Highway, he's going to apply for it. I think as part of some of this, there'll be some reshuffling. So.
Is he doing the Saturday thing at the dump?
Yeah, and that's what I talked to him about. So he's doing 4 hours.
Did you see that on Facebook?
Oh yeah, we can maybe chat about
Okay,
that
yeah,
afterwards. But he.
Okay, so that's fine.
So I think.
So he's moving on, right? At some point.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I think he's like anybody else. He needs a full-time job.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's worth a discussion with this other guy, and just say, listen, we don't have much for you this year, but next year you could be running the whole thing,
Yeah,
get used to the equipment, in all
this?
the areas that need to be mowed or whatever. So
Is this the one? That's counselor. Hang on. Landscape. Who is this person? He's from Franklin. He's got food service experience, no landscape experience. But he seems to be interested, so yeah, I'll see what he has to say.
okay.
I mean, I don't know what the long-term plan is with this whole DPW thing, but I do think, this will need to be somehow incorporated, regardless of how it's done. This will have to get incorporated differently.
Right. Because we can't farm it out. It's too
No.
cost prohibitive, but we don't have the resources to do a good job now because of the short season the kids are available.
Right.
So it needs some more thought.
And I've had some
Probably
really
some more
good
money too.
conversations with John Dudley about different ideas. So
Good.
I think he's interested. And then lifeguards, one of the people we interviewed backed out. I haven't had a chance. I need to sit down and go through everything. We may or may not be able to do swim lessons now. I just want to verify that we have enough people, and I may repost. I don't think we'll get anybody, but I'll probably just repost lifeguards that we're looking.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be a challenging position to fill.
Yes.
I forget what he didn't say, but somebody, I think he got like a good internship opportunity. So that kind of leaves us
That's what
there.
happens now.
Yeah.
Kids never had internships like this. Now they do. They're all over the place with that.
And then.
Not a bad thing.
No,
but it makes our job difficult.
Yeah. I figure we'll do the parking lots last because we can go out there. Field use, I got that summer league that uses Tatro Field.
Mm-hmm.
I assume we're good with them.
The
basketball leagues.
This ties into the pavement thing because I told Hatch that it would be August.
Yeah, well, let's.
It's an ideal time, so.
Yeah.
They'd have to find alternative parking at different times. That's all.
Yeah, and then BBT reached out. I forget the gentleman's name now about. So I guess Nipmuc Youth Baseball doesn't really have a Babe Ruth team, is what he told me, or if they did. Nipmuc Youth Baseball, apparently the older. It isn't really happening. They're not really using Tatro.
Really? Okay.
So BBT had reached out looking for field time. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're doing work at the field at the school.
Yeah, I think they're going to rebuild it.
Michael Denise.
Yeah, he's the AD.
So he didn't respond to me. I said, I confirmed with baseball, just fill out the form. So I'll have to follow up. Maybe they found somewhere else.
Yeah. They usually run a camp over the summer. But I think they're redoing their field's a mess.
This was school use he wanted. After school was the same as Whitensville Christian. After school practices and some games.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it worked for us.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like Nipmuc isn't using it as much.
Yep.
And then the basketball is just the normal Monday through Thursday, and then there's another group that wants Fridays. So that's those. And then field use.
Any soccer use?
Not just the normal. Nothing. These are just new requests.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They usually have weird stuff in like I usually get at the very last minute. They do like Chris does something on like a 1 week or alternating boys and girls stuff. But it's little. I don't know. It's funny. It seems like there's such a demand for fields, but I don't. There seems to be a lot of unused time. So.
It's all the time no one wants.
Yeah. Well, like soccer backed off of their request for Clough. Like I've noticed, there's been really nobody here on the weekends, which I will change later. But
yeah,
that's kind of interesting.
Did we get a new backboard over there?
It's coming. The last thing he told me was he was waiting for the vendor to confirm. They were supposed to give him a tracking number. It's just all this stuff I think is back ordered, but we should have it.
Okay.
And then I guess so. Yeah, I guess the parking lots. I guess I was just confused. Oh, we should talk about that capital thing too. But what you found out? So you talked to somebody about.
So I was at a golf tournament last
yeah.
Monday, and met with Hatch. They were the cart in front of us, the whole in front of us. And so I kept bumping into him. I said, I got to get my driveway resealed. And I started talking about, getting a price for, tailings, right, for one of our parking lots. I said, who do I talk to about that? Just to get a price for it, just to see what, roughly what it would cost. So they're like, oh, we want to talk to Ryan and this and that. She got all my information and said it was at the Parks Commission. And I got a call like 2 days later from Ryan saying, hey, we want to cover the whole thing. We want to provide the tailings. We want to condition the area, roll them out, compact them, all that for that parking lot.
So this is about Millville.
Millville Road. Yep.
Okay, that was why I was confused. So they would, because Millville, I think, I had gotten a price, and I put it in that sheet, to pave the front entrance, and it wasn't a whole lot of money. Millville pay, it was like 10 grand, 5 to 10 grand.
To pave what?
Just the front. We were talking about just paving the front like 10 feet.
Like the apron.
So it doesn't
right?
get, And that was before. If we close it in, as we discussed, that would probably be even less money.
Right.
But I think, the only thought is I thought we could get the millings from the Route 16 project. But if they're willing to donate
If they're willing to do it, yeah.
that would be awesome.
Well, I would use, other millings for over here or.
Well, so over here, somebody complained on Facebook. I mean, they weren't wrong. I shouldn't say, this is a disaster.
It's rough.
John's, so as part of the Neck Hill project, they have grindings, which is like real fine. But him and Pete think you put the grindings down as a base, and then we buy some like crushed stone and put it on top, and it'll lock together.
And then you compact it.
And so we'd have to buy the crushed stone. It'd probably be $200 to $500.
Piece of cake.
They can do all the labor. They can't do it for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I had said that upper area, and if this area that just keeps washing out, I mean, I think it's a bigger grading issue, but at a minimum, if we can just try and stabilize it. And then this driveway needs to be repaved, but
correct.
I think
next year, I think is a good year for that.
And we could get some pricing. I mean, there was a bunch of these weird projects, this ADA stuff that just keeps getting kicked down the road. So maybe you could be comfortable with that.
If we're willing to work, I don't know if we need to vote on the Hatch thing, but it's a donation. We're not spending any money. But
I believe we would have to vote to accept a donation. Yeah, I mean, in terms of timing, that wouldn't be bad because they would, they'd probably want to close it for a couple days to roll it all out, and
it's a good time because it's hot. You want that stuff to lock up, And
it's really just, I assume you looked at it. It's just the front and halfway around that loop where all those holes are, and then the back is good.
Right.
I mean, that would be amazing if they're willing to do that.
Yes.
Where are they out of?
Milford.
Okay.
They're right down near Papagino's on 140. You see all the trucks right there. I don't know.
Interesting.
Pretty close, right to CVS or that area.
So I don't know. Maybe they need to come if they want to come back with like a proposal or confirm.
I gave him the address.
Yeah.
He was going to swing by, take a look.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're busy, like every other paving company right now. But he's. I
guess find out
all on board.
If they want anything. I mean,
yeah. Thanks, dude. I was looking for a price, and
we could probably work with them to put a sign up or something.
Yes. Yep. Get some good PR out of it.
think that would be good. Yeah, and then maybe maybe next year we'll think about the more detailed plan for the entrance of that lot.
Yeah. So I guess they're saving all this stuff up between now and then.
Well, it sounds from what was explained to me, it's like they get it from projects, and then sometimes it gets used, or like I think sometimes it has value, sometimes it doesn't.
But I also understand if it sits too long, it could actually harden.
Oh yeah, like on its own.
Yeah. So I think they like to move it out.
All right, so they would do the upper lot. I'm just updating this sheet now, and then Highway could do the Taft. They would do Millville. Highway can do Taft. That. The driveway, we should get a price for 24 for like next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a duplicate. No, Millville Road lot updates. I'll just leave that, and then we'll have to keep figuring out what we can get for the entrance, and then the ADA work, and then that guardrail. That's like 20,000. That's probably way more money than we have to spend. Yeah, so I went through this then and updated, and just like for now I sorted it. I put all the in progress at the top, and put the completed things at the bottom. I don't know. We had one item in here for roadstone for the beach.
I left another tab for completed items.
Okay.
You just move them over to the next page. That's all.
Yeah. So I just dragged them down here too, but I think they're the same three: trailer, drain mark, mulch. Yeah. What do we mean by roadstone for the beach project?
You wrote that.
I don't know. I mean, apparently it's in progress.
Maybe it was in the ramp area where it's all.
Oh, we were going to fill that in with crushed stone.
Yes.
I think on the side of the road, but I think that's now the beach project changed that because the fence is going to go there.
Correct.
But I'll just leave that as a part of the beach project. Because I do. So you talked to that guy, Colton and David Colton.
Yes.
Yeah. I was impressed. It's
He's very interested in this. I told him we have this long-term planning sheet going, and he seemed interested in seeing it and seeing what projects we had on our list.
My hope is
the only thing I didn't mention was like replacing this thing.
Yeah, so we can put that.
You want to pop that in there?
Like it's just a
2026 or something like that. And maybe even making it bigger, so that we could use it year-round for Zumba and other things.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of those situations where you start looking at like Morrison Drive, for example. It doesn't help the camp program, but if you, maybe I didn't tell you this, Chris Hadfield reached out. Chris had gotten a price at Misco to put down turf in the upper gym, and it was like $30,000.
Uh-huh.
So he had reached out to me because when we dropped the tanks off.
Upper gym?
Yeah, Misco has 2 gyms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Inside the gym? Turf?
Okay. Instead of that, because that weird rubber floor is starting to deteriorate.
That's rough.
He wants it for indoors, like you little kid soccer stuff, and I guess he runs his programs up there. Yeah. But so he was interested in Morrison Drive. So I had said, well, we got to get through all this other stuff, but we should talk about it. Because if we don't need Morrison Drive for Parks Garage, it's potentially going to abut this land that we're now going to purchase. That might be an interesting thought, that you could just basically make it one big open space. It's certainly not big enough for an indoor turf field, I don't think, like for indoor soccer. But if you just had a big open room with some bathrooms and a big space with, AstroTurf, you could do anything there. Fitness, whatever classes.
Yep.
So that might be something to think about.
Or we demolish this and put up a big building here.
Yeah, well, I think they're separate projects.
I'm thinking it's one project.
But
let's say three years from now, we take this down, put a bigger building, put septic over here.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then now you have an area. Everything's here, first of all, and then you have a building big enough to handle a camp. Even if it rains, all that stuff, and you get something 3 or 4 times the size of this, right? I think that's ideal. Morrison Drive would be okay. Yeah, sure. If that works, fine. But
yeah, I mean, if we could, replace this parking and establish parking somewhere else, you could have a decent building here, And there's big money if you could do year-round programming, especially with kids. It would pay a lot of.
The question is,
costs. I priced it out once. I think we could pay off the debt service with the revenue from programming. I think it could be potentially somewhat self-funding. If you could run a before and after school program.
Yeah.
I think you would have the revenue to pay off the debt to build it.
Can we get any other funding? CPA?
Oh, CPA can't pay for buildings. Oh. But the town could pay for it. You could work out a deal that says, if you went to the town and said, hey, it's $1 million building. We want $500,000 from the town, and we're going to finance the other $500,000 and pay it off. I think there's ways to figure that stuff out.
Right.
But I'm just so I'll put replacement of classroom rec building, and then I'll just put use of Morrison building just on here as a year-round programming could. And then the other stuff on here, I couldn't think of anything else. The courts, the pickleballs, the dog park. I don't know what other huge projects we are. I'm not over. Well, maybe actually we probably additional multi-use fields. I'm not so sure we need any more ball fields. Having just a big area that's even just practice space. I know they're fighting over the field at Clough or at Misco with the football. Something to think about. I think that's probably a 5 to 10 year project at this point. But just knowing that, that paddock property, I think is it's a much more central location. I know. Were you on the board when we looked at the property down Millville Road? Mm-hmm. I can't think of the guy's name. 161. Salvador.
Yeah.
That's interesting too. It's just far away.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's very remote.
But yeah, so I think we should definitely. I can send this to him and you told him you wanted to. I can.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we send him that active copy, but certainly
well, I would just say this is still a working draft, but this gives you. I think it gives you.
Just don't give him editing rights. That's all.
I'll turn it to a PDF and.
Yeah, exactly. PDF.
But I think it's a good indication of the things that are kind of before the commission of
right.
All the
And if he wants to share it with Highway, that's fine too.
Yeah. Well, I think they have the same issues, and my hope is that this report, regardless of what decision the town makes, is going to highlight that these areas are very underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we look at.
I'll put in a plug for you as well.
I had a good chat with him. I basically, it was like my position is kind of unsustainable in that, it's fine to keep doing what I'm doing, but we can't grow anywhere.
Right.
Can't grow water, can't grow parks because I'm maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know how to restructure things differently, but.
You can restructure all you want, but if there aren't any funds there, you're still going to have to do the same kind of things we're doing. Right?
It seems to me like maintenance should fall under highway as a division of highway where you have a full-time person who runs the maintenance.
Yes, that's fine.
I think you could rebuild things and create a culture where you have, say, a highway superintendent and a park superintendent that work together that can, you're not having turf wars and fighting over staffing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure we need a DPW director that makes $150,000 a year. That just seems like a lot for Mendon. But I think they need more staffing. We need more staffing.
I agree. Yeah, we'll see what comes out of it. I kind of said the same thing, same kind of stuff. Because I don't think highway wants anything to do with running a beach.
No.
DPW or whatever.
My fear is creating all these layers of bureaucracy where, you have a parks director and a highway and all this and it just, I think, and maybe we don't, I don't know if this is on the table. Maybe we don't necessarily need these elected boards anymore if that's the direction the town wants to go. We're struggling getting people to run.
Right.
You have a water board for 150 people. It seems a little excessive. But then on the flip side, this gives us a layer of autonomy that we wouldn't have. You know, certainly like during COVID, there was quite a bit of BS that we were able to cut through when everybody wanted to micromanage everything.
Right.
So I don't know. I see.
No, I just think having these commissions, and especially for this department, I thought it was nice that we have this commission, and we, you know, we're all invested.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing it for all the right reasons, and we're trying to get, you know, we just rebuilt the beach. We keep our courts in good shape. You know, we care about the area. I think sometimes you get too big of an organization in the government, things get missed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's no one day to day checking on things. And I drive by the beach all the time, or I drive by the field, and that's what we do as commissioners, right?
Well, yeah, there's something to be said for having a department that's really directly accountable to the voters.
Right.
You know, you don't answer to the town administrator, whatever, the select board.
Even
it's
if
the people
we
that
did,
elected you.
we're still invested in it. So, but again, whatever happens, happens. I'm not, you know, going to be upset if it goes DPW. It really doesn't matter to me that much. I may or may not run again, so, but it's still one of those things.
But all right, well, I think that's everything for this, right? Beach, trees,
Yep.
parking lots, the railing. I'm hoping Brian can start soon. Chris sent me a message. I haven't heard from Brian yet.
No?
He might just be finishing.
Okay, so we're ready to conclude the meeting?
I think so. So I will adjourn at 12:43.